everyone, and welcome to this session. Today, we are going to discuss HR risk mitigation, specifically tailored for medical practices. And given that you'll each be someday managing your own practices, really understanding how to minimize HR risks is going to be crucial for smooth operations and legal compliance. My name is Mallory Herrin. I have been in the HR field for about 20 years. I'm the CEO and principal HR consultant of Herrin HR. Super creatively named, I know. I'm the author of Intentional HR, A Revolution in Strategic Thinking, and I'm an international speaker on HR and leadership topics, and I am a nerd about this stuff. And I just want to share as much knowledge with you as I possibly can, because when you go into business, you don't go into it to become an employer, but that's a result of growing. And unfortunately, the reality is becoming an employer also comes with a lot of complexity and legal compliance, and therefore some risk. So we want to minimize that as much as we can. We'll start with discussing, well, what is HR risk mitigation? We'll talk about how you can develop a solid foundation to really minimize that risk. We'll talk about the different risk mitigation elements and some tools and resources that can be available to you. HR risk mitigation refers to the strategies and practices that an organization implements to reduce potential risks related to human resources. Think about it. You have to have the people in order to have the practice. If you don't have the people, you can't provide the service to the patients. So when it comes to the risk mitigation, this is going to involve identifying, assessing, and addressing issues that could negatively impact your workplace, such as legal liabilities, regulatory compliance failures, workplace safety hazards, and even interpersonal conflicts among employees, because you're dealing with people, it's not always going to be rainbows and sunshine. So the goal is to prevent these risks from causing harm to your organization and its employees. When we think about the importance of HR risk mitigation in business, one of the very first things that comes to mind is the legal compliance aspect of it. We have to ensure you're compliant with labor laws, with anti-discrimination policies, and employment agreements. This is going to help you to avoid costly legal disputes and litigation. Even for a baseless claim, the average cost to defend that claim is going to be upwards of $250,000, and most of these are going to settle for $1 million or more. Non-compliance can lead to significant financial penalties, damage to your reputation, and even, unfortunately, business closure if it gets to be too much. When it comes to workplace safety, mitigating risks associated with physical and mental health helps maintain a safe work environment. That's critical to preventing accidents, injuries, and health issues that can also lead to absenteeism, which leads to decreased productivity and insurance claims. Addressing HR issues effectively contributes to a positive organizational culture, which helps you to retain talented employees. High turnover rates can be very costly and extremely disruptive to your operations. And in the labor market that we have, it's really crucial that you get the right people in the right roles and then focus on retention long-term instead of only on talent acquisition strategies. We are amidst a global talent and skills crisis. And by the year 2030, the World Economic Forum says that $8.5 trillion in revenues will go unrealized due to this crisis. Mitigating interpersonal and operational HR risks, that really helps you to foster a collaborative and efficient work environment, which leads to higher productivity from your team because your employees can focus better on their tasks without the disruption that's caused by unresolved HR issues. And we also have to think about managing your reputation. An organization's ability to handle these HR matters effectively directly affects that reputation. Good HR practices are going to enhance the organization's image as a fair and desirable place to work, which helps you to attract and retain talent and potentially lead to more business opportunities. But if you're kind of known as the place where people hate it here and it's not that great, that's going to actively work against you. And let me tell you, we are all about Glassdoor these days and giving ratings to our employers. So you have to consciously manage this or risk getting a really bad review. So in essence, effective HR risk mitigation is really crucial because it directly impacts your operational success, your financial stability, and the overall workplace harmony. And we all want to work somewhere that's enjoyable and not toxic. Here are just a few examples of common mistakes that new employers make when they don't properly mitigate risk and how these compliance issues can lead to substantial costs for a medical practice. First, we have misclassification of employees. Misclassifying your employees as independent contractors can lead to severe legal and financial repercussions. For example, let's say you've got a full-time nurse who should be a W-2 employee, but she's incorrectly classified as a 1099 contractor. The practice could face penalties, interest, and back taxes for failing to withhold income taxes and not covering employment benefits. The way that the government looks at it, you've got to meet 6 very specific criteria in order to classify someone as an independent contractor. And if all 6 of that criteria is not met, they're an employee. They want to have employers avoid taking advantage of individuals by classifying them as an independent contractor and skirting around the tax obligations. There are also legal hiring practices to be aware of. Engaging in discriminatory practices like excluding older applicants, that can lead to lawsuits and fines. These actions don't just cause financial strain, but also damage your reputation. And you don't know what you don't know. There are a ton of rules around what you can and can't do when it comes to interviewing and hiring. And making sure you've got a qualified professional to assist you and guide you in that process is key. Inconsistent management practices. This is a big one. So when managers apply inconsistent standards in handling employee grievances or performance evaluations, that really opens you up to the risk of a discrimination claim. These kind of practices suggest a lack of fairness and transparency in the management, inviting legal scrutiny and possible litigation. Oftentimes, it's not malicious in its intent, but when you have people being treated differently and you're upholding different standards for individuals, it's very, very easy to say, hey, wait a minute, I'm in a protected class, and that is the reason why you're treating me differently. I'm being treated more severely, or I'm not getting the same benefits as someone else. And again, even a baseless claim is going to cost you. If you don't make sure you're investing in your employee development, that's also an area of risk. You want to make sure that all of your staff have up-to-date certifications and licenses so that you are in compliance, because any neglect in this area can lead to penalties from regulatory bodies, and more critically, of course, that could compromise your patient safety, resulting in legal action and the loss of trust. HR strategy is something that is going to address all of these and more. Human resources gets a bad rap. I know most people don't like people in HR. We're just the folks that fire people and the fun police, but that's not true. We're there to be an advocate for both the employer and the employee to make sure that you are remaining compliant and you are reaching your strategic objectives so that you have solid, positive outcomes, you retain a competitive advantage, and you meet your financial goals. We're a strategic asset to any successful business. And data shows that your HR strategies, company culture, employee engagement, your employment brand, your clear purpose and values, and more, they do have a direct impact on the financial results of your business. A solid HR foundation combined with effective HR strategies puts your business and your employees on the path to achieve results while mitigating those risks associated with being an employer. Take a look at this infographic that compares companies with average versus strong HR foundations and strategies. Strong HR strategies can result in 4 times the profit per employee, 2.8 times the revenue per employee, 4.2 times the average profit overall, 2.1 times the average revenue, 1.5 times the employee pay, and that is a competitive advantage really needed in today's labor market, and 1.5 times the employee growth. This solid HR foundation, it's so essential to make sure you're able to grow, become profitable, and mitigate risk. So what is a solid HR foundation made up of? To answer that, we first have to understand HR from a more holistic perspective. And remember, people are the heart of your business. Your business can't achieve results without them. You need people to provide the service to the patients, to process the insurance, right? In service-based businesses, you have to have the people. And they need to be the right people, talented people that have the necessary knowledge and skills to execute their job tasks to take the company where you want it to go. People with the right attitude that fit well into your organization and the way that it works. People that perform at or above your standards and grow with your organization, and that stay with your company for as long as possible. And HR concerns themselves with people and with the entire employee lifecycle. HR is all about strategically managing your greatest resource, your humans, to obtain that competitive advantage for the business. And so we must first develop your employer brand to attract and hire the best talent. We have to then make sure that they have a successful onboarding, which is very key for retention and acclimating them to the culture and getting them up to performance standards as quickly as possible. We have to create and deliver learning and development initiatives. We have to ensure proper rewards and incentives are in place, including pay and benefits packages. We have to work to increase employee satisfaction and engagement, to boost productivity and performance, and ensure the accurate management and evaluation of that performance. Because if you're not trying to manage that well, it's going to go in a direction you don't want it to. And we also have to implement effective retention strategies while also ensuring seamless employee exits to maintain a positive employer brand. Today, we're focusing on the critical components that constitute a robust HR foundation for any medical practice. This includes that risk mitigation, and establishing a strong base in HR operations isn't just about managing your workforce effectively, but also making sure that your practice is resilient against potential HR pitfalls. A solid foundation is going to include developing standard operating procedures, which are essential to standardize all of your HR activities and ensure processes all the way from hiring to termination throughout that employee lifecycle are executed consistently and to high standards. Your employee handbook. I know no one wants to read them. I get it. I've written, it feels like a million, but it is a pivotal document in communicating your policies, your benefits, your code of conduct, and is a go-to guide for your staff. Well-crafted job descriptions are vital for setting clear expectations and responsibilities, which are really crucial during hiring and the performance evaluations. Efficient handling of payroll ensures that employees are paid correctly and on time, and trust me, they do not like it when you mess with their pay. And this is fundamental to maintaining morale and trust. A structured and efficient performance management process can not only assess how an employee is doing, but also help an employee to become better and to perform further. And training and development programs are also critical. Not only is it necessary for continuous training, especially in healthcare, to maintain high standards of care and compliance with practices, but on top of that, the younger generations entering the workforce are really wanting that kind of development. They want to see career progression opportunities, and it's very critical in order for you to retain a competitive advantage with talent. A competitive benefits package is key to attracting and retaining high quality staff, which is very critical in the healthcare industry. And compliance mechanisms are also a part of your HR foundation. Regularly updating and auditing HR practices to comply with labor laws and healthcare regulations is going to protect your practice from legal issues and enhance the overall governance. Frequently providing employees with feedback and soliciting feedback from them is also going to help make sure that you've got a good pulse on what's going on with your team, what's meaningful to them, and where they might need more resources. So we need to make sure you've got some sort of mechanism or program in place to make sure that's occurring regularly. This comprehensive HR foundation, it supports your day-to-day operations, but also positions your practice for growth and success in a really competitive environment. It sounds like a lot, and I know it is. And then you throw in the complexity and the compliance issues in all of these areas because we have an alphabet soup of laws at the federal and state level to comply with. And it gets really overwhelming really fast. But there is a solution and plenty of resources are available. Consider outsourcing HR so you can get the best of these vital elements. Start with payroll processing. An accurate and efficient payroll system is crucial. It ensures that your employees are paid on time and all withholdings and filings are handled correctly, reducing the risk of financial errors and compliance issues. Did you know there are payday laws in each state that require you to make sure that you are paying employees at the right frequency? There are rules around the garnishments that you have to do. It's Believe me, it can get very, very cumbersome. And that is not where you want to be spending your time. You want to make sure you have an expert in that area taking that off your plate. An HRIS, a human resources information system, is also going to be your tech backbone. This usually comes along with your payroll system, and it integrates various HR activities like data management, recruitment, employee records, and more, so that you've got this centralized platform for your HR operations. A time and labor management system, which is usually a module of an HRIS system, or you can get it as a standalone. It's going to help you track and manage employee hours, their attendance, labor costing and scheduling, so that you can assure more efficient operations and compliance with the Fair Labor Standards Act. A performance management system, again, something that is typically going to be a part of your HRIS payroll system, is a system that allows you to continually evaluate your employees' performance, set goals, provide feedback, and plan your employees' development, which are all very key to have a motivated and effective workforce. An applicant tracking system, again, typically part of that HRIS payroll system as a module, or you can get this as a standalone. That is going to help you streamline your recruitment process by managing your job postings, your applicant data, and the interview process so that hiring is more organized and much less time consuming. Even then, it still is pretty time consuming, and you may want to consider outsourcing to a recruiter. Your employee benefits and your benefits administration, that's really crucial too. We need to make sure we're offering your staff benefits that are meaningful to them, that they find valuable, and you can't just not offer benefits. That it's not a good way to stay competitive. So partnering with a benefits broker that can put together a really solid benefits strategy, a contribution strategy that's attractive to your team while also staying within your budget is key. And a benefits administration system can help manage those offerings, ensuring that the employees receive their entitled benefits and the program's managed efficiently. There's a whole host of compliance that comes along with Section 125 plans and what you can and can't offer, and when you have to offer it. So making sure you're working with a broker is very key. HR consulting, something I would also strongly recommend. So for specialized needs or complex issues, or just to get that foundation built and get you going, HR consulting services can provide that expertise that you probably won't have in-house, at least not right away. The typical ratio that we see for HR is to have one full-time HR employee for every 100 employees that you have. But until you get to that point, you don't want to be in the dark. You want someone that can guide you through things and say, this is how you might handle that situation. Here's when you can and can't terminate someone. Oh, this is a report that's coming up that's due to the Department of Labor. Whatever it is, you want someone there that knows the ins and outs of this and that can take that off of your plate so you have that peace of mind and more time to focus on what you're passionate about. Compliance mechanisms are also key. So importantly, you've got to have systems in place to make sure you're getting regular updates. You're auditing things on a regular basis so you can ensure continuous compliance with an ever-changing regulatory landscape. And recruiting, effective recruiting strategies and tools are essential to attract top talent, which could range from social media recruiting to working with staffing agencies or an external recruiter. And training resources, continuous development is also a non-negotiable these days, especially in a field as dynamic as healthcare. So providing access to training resources is going to help ensure your team remains at the forefront of medical and operational excellence. Each of these resources plays a pivotal role in creating a comprehensive and resilient HR infrastructure, setting the stage for a thriving practice. At Herrin HR, we offer all of these services. So if it's just HR consulting, payroll processing, benefits administration, training, and recruiting, we've got you covered. We can do it on an a la carte basis, or we can even do it as an all-in-one HR outsourcing solution with the HRIS system. I would encourage you to get in touch with me or any of my team members. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I love HR, and I would be happy to talk to you about it anytime. Thank you so much. Have a good one.